he has spoken on the topics faith, family and freedom in Cuba, Belgium, Brazil, Congo, UK and all over the USA to crowds from 14 to 40,000. International leadership speaker, trainer and coach. Author of Learn to Raw Leadership, Attitude Hack, Live a More Excellent Life, 5 Battle Strategies of a Victorious Warrior. 2021 President's Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Founding partner of the John Maxwell team. Toastmaster International Speech Competition semi-finalist. Founder of Tell It Like It Is TV, ThatGuyRocks.com and ThatGuySpeaks.com. Creator of Story Power TV, Transforming Grace TV, and Leading Leaders Podcast. Producer of 4 TV programs and podcasts for Liftable TV and World Trumpet Television as well as multiple social media channels. Please help me welcome J. Loren Norris.
Have you ever walked away from a golden opportunity? Have you ever considered this gigantic leap in success or notoriety or wealth or just getting your name out there as a potential bad thing rather than a good thing? As a leader, have you turned down a job or a promotion because it wasn't consistent with who you are? Let me ask you the same question a different way. What would cause you to turn down a golden opportunity? That's what I want to talk about in this episode of Leading Leaders. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom. I'm J. Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. And I can tell you throughout the course of my life, there have not been a whole lot of those enormous opportunities, but there have been a fistful of them. Opportunities that I have to look at and say, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. These are usually opportunities that would catapult business opportunity. They would build new relationships. They would build bridges to lands far, far away, maybe international opportunities, maybe support opportunities or business growth opportunities, maybe partnerships that generate a lot of wealth and a lot of notoriety. And yet, for some reason, the answer is a no. Now, my question to you would be, as a leader, what kind of things would make you say no to an opportunity like that? If someone came along to you and said, hey, we'll give you $100 million to merge your company with ours, or we'll give you $10,000 to sell your product to us. I was at a conference not too long ago, it's been about a year ago, and I overheard a couple of conversations about people who are producing new movies, new films. And then I sat in a session where an attorney who has produced films of his own, he's also done the fundraising aspect of producing films and creating, he's an actor, he's written on all kinds of different levels. And he talked about several of his clients as an attorney who, without specifics, were made offers by big movie houses. Some of them would say, hey, we'll give you $50 million for your script. And they would buy the script with the idea that that movie would be produced by the big movie house because, you know, they have the budget to do it and they can put it out there. And then all of a sudden the movie just vanishes like into some black hole. I mean, the $50 million was nice, but have you seen what a blockbuster movie can make? Hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. I mean, The Chosen has made a whole lot of money. The Passion of the Christ, Mel Gibson, nobody wanted to support that movie, but it more than 100x the amount of money that was invested in it. I mean, look at Stallone. They offered him $500,000 for his script for Rocky. But now we're in Rocky 42? And it's still making money? The original concept and the original script is still making money? Sylvester Stallone has made a whole lot of money because he owned the rights to the script and the right to act in the movie. He held those values, what I own, very, very closely. He turned down what others would have said in the 80s was really big money to buy out his script and make somebody else the star of it. At one point, he sold his dog to survive until he could get his movie made. I think the risk-reward payoff was pretty good. But as I listened to this attorney talk about the number of times the clients of his had come with their screenplay and they'd come with their projected actors, and these are the people we'd love to see play in it. And they get from the big movie houses, well, yeah, we don't think those named actors are going to play in the film that you want. Their names are too big for that. And we don't think that you've got the budget to pull this off. We have some other ideas that with our budget, we could make it spectacular. And the truth of the matter is, they didn't want to buy the movie to make it spectacular. They wanted to buy the movie to make it go away. See, they weren't looking to catapult the movie to the next level. They were looking to make the message of the movie go dark, to be silent. That $50 million payout wasn't a big win. It was hush money. Now let me ask you the question. If you're a filmmaker, if you're a screenplay writer, do you write these things because they have money value, because you look at them and go, I could sell this at the box office and make $100 million? Or do you write screenplays and movies and documentaries because you feel like the message of that movie, that screenplay, that documentary needs to be heard? Now, I can tell you, there are probably equal number of people on both sides of that question. Some who would say, well, of course I make a movie to make profit. Why else would I make a movie? Of course I produce the movie because I feel like there's going to be a profit in it. People are going to want to go see it. It has all the right things in it, all the right drama, the right car chases, the right plot twists. Everything is in there. And then there are those who say, I don't care if it ever makes a dime. It'll be nice if I can break even enough to pay my actors. It'll be nice if I can make enough of a profit to make the next movie on. But really, I make movies because I produce film, because I create content, because I believe the message needs to be heard. The story needs to be told. So let me ask you, if you are, as a leader at any level, determined to lead because you believe the influence that you have to offer is significant enough, then would you sell out your brand of leadership, the story that you have to tell, the message that you believe the world needs to hear? Would you take a buyout to say something else? Would you take a long vacation in the Bahamas while someone else leads your organization if you felt like they're not going to lead it the same way? See, these things happen. And the closer you get to the top, the more likely they are to happen. The more influence you have, the more people you have in your tribe, whether it's your social media following or the fans that follow you up and down the street and take pictures of you, or it's the 18 people who read your book. The more influence you have, the more likely someone wants to buy the realm of your influence. I hope you're noodling on that statement. That's why I'm taking such a long pause. People want to buy your influence. Now, let me tell you that in a lot of ways, that's just simply called marketing. The Kardashians represent certain products, and those products pay them. And they pay them to influence because they already have influence. And these companies that choose the Kardashians or Joe Rogan or whomever else big name you can think of, they choose them because they're buying their influence. What part of your influence is for sale? What's the price tag? What does it cost? See, as a media buyer, when I bought media for big Fortune 50 companies, we bought in a cost per thousand of eyeballs, of exposure. So if you had 1,000 people that paid attention to your whatever it was, your sports game, your billboard on the side of the road, your movie in the theaters themselves, the truck sides, So many different things that you can advertise on, but we looked for the thousands to buy media. Cost per thousand. What does it cost me for each group of 1,000 who are paying attention to your form of media? Radio, television, internet, online ads, social media ads, the influence that you have in all these other places. I want to know how many thousands you have and what is the cost per thousand. But that game has changed a little bit. We went from cost per thousand to cost per click. Now it's just about, can you get the traffic there, and it's up to me to convert the traffic. Then we went from cost per click to cost per conversion. So it's actually, I'm buying your influence because I know you can tell people, go visit this website, buy this product, visit this store, go to this concert, pick up this book. And that because they follow you, they trust your influence, they trust your decision making, then obviously whatever you tell them to do, well, that's what they're going to do. That's just good common sense, right? But is there a product or a service that you wouldn't want your name or your brand affiliated with? Is there a behavior that you would say, yeah, I'm not in favor of promoting that. I don't want the 2 or 2,000 or 200,000 or 200 million people who trust my influence, who trust my character, my behavior, my leadership. I wouldn't want them to be affiliated with that kind of behavior or that product. Whatever that product or service is, that's the question I'm asking you. At what point would you say that your biggest decisions are driven by opportunity versus income versus values? Where do you draw the line? Where do you say, no, I'll pass on the 50 million for my film. I'll continue to bootstrap this film until I actually get it made because I think it can make 200 million. Or I'll pass on the 50 million because I think there are other opportunities waiting. Once we get this film produced, other people will look at the quality of the screenplay and the quality of the acting and the quality of the production and go, we want you to make films for us. Or do you look at it and say, I'm so committed to the message of this film that I won't sell it for any price. If you want to buy in and not take the influence, but be a part of the reward when it's finally making money, we would love to have you. But there is no price for which I would sell the message. I won't give up on the storyline. I won't give up on my characters. I know I can pull this off. See, there's got to be a place where you draw the line in the sand, proverbially, and in your life, definitively. You've got to ask yourself the question, are my biggest decisions made by the opportunity that rests on the other side of this decision, by the income that rests on the other side of this decision, or are my biggest decisions made by the core values that I stand for, the things that I truly believe in? Are they non-compromising? Are they not for sale? You've heard people say, my dreams are not for sale, my future's not for sale, I am my own real estate and that's not for sale. Those are all great phrases, but the question would be, until what point? I've heard others say, especially wealthy people, everything is for sale. We just have to negotiate the price. I believe the story is about Winston Churchill sitting in a bar, and a lady sits down next to him and he says, could I take you back to my room for the night? And she said, sure. He said, could I take you back to my room for the night for $1? And she said, what kind of woman do you think I am? He said, well, we've already clearly established that. Right now we're negotiating the price. You may not realize it, but in leadership, whether it's a compromise on a report that bears your signature, it's the negotiation of a deal where the prices maybe have been, fudged a little bit, inflated so that the budget is met, but deflated just enough to get them under the gun. I mean, it's not really what it actually costs, but it gets the money in the hands of the right people, and it gets it from the hands of the right people, if you follow what I'm saying. Have you taken a little shortcut on the person that you hired, or the way that you trained them, or the training they were required to take before they did the job? Have you cut corners on those standards of expectations, like the forms that you have to file for certain chemicals that are on your premises, the things you have to tell the fire department for the occupancy of your building. Have you cut corners there? Because you may think that every big opportunity, every big decision looks like, well, I choose the 50 million or not. And sometimes that's not true. We sell out our values. We sell out our core values. We sell out our standards for a lot less. A lot less. I took a job in management in my early 20s. And the person that I had taken over for had built a client base by taking all of his clients to a strip bar for lunchtime steaks every Friday. And when I took over the position, the assistant manager and the customers that were a part of that little ring said, "What's wrong with you that you won't do this?" And I said, "I am a married man. I am a happily married man, and I have no business in a place like that, and I'm not going. If you guys want to go on your own dime, I'm not here to judge you. Do whatever you want to do. But I'm not going, and if I'm not going, the store's not paying for it." The fact that a manager thought that the retail establishment should be paying for men to go to a strip bar for lunch was mind-boggling enough to me. But see, it wouldn't have cost me any money out of pocket. And it could have made the store a lot of money with those customers building their reputations and their relationships and building their business through our store. Could have been worth a lot of money. But I wasn't willing to sell my marriage for the store's reputation. That's not a $50 million offer. I mean, that might not have even been enough revenue generated to pull out a bonus. It might have been absolutely nothing in the bottom line. But I wasn't willing to sell my family for that. Now, I'm going to ask you the same question again. Are your biggest decisions made by opportunity, by income, or by your values? If the biggest decisions that you make in your life, who you're going to hang out with, where you're going to spend your spare time, how you're going to spend your money, where you're going to travel, the jobs that you'll take or not take, the clients you'll serve or pass on to someone else, if those decisions are made by your core values, then you will have plenty of opportunity that will come your way. And when opportunity comes your way and you're prepared, income will follow that. But in the end game, all the money in the world isn't going with you when you die. In the end game, all those opportunities, especially the ones you didn't get a chance to take advantage of, they're just as useless as the money once you're in the box. But the value, the reputation, the legacy, the inheritance that you leave for your kids will be measured more in your character, in the people that you've influenced in the course of your life. It'll be measured in your character. In the books that are written about you in the end game, it's not going to be about your wealth, although there'll be plenty of those too. It will be about your character. How do we know? Because there are a whole lot of people that books have been written about that had great wealth, had great opportunity, and horrible character. Their values were nothing to be spoken well of. They had money, they had power, they had opportunity. They didn't have character worth repeating. I challenge you as a leader, when you have a big decision in front of you, to ask yourself which of those three things is the more likely to make your decision final. Do you make big decisions by opportunity, by income, or by your core values? Nobody can decide that for you. It's all up to you. But if you let someone buy your values at the smallest level, they're guaranteed to be for sale at the larger level. And at a certain point, there's a word for that. It's called corruption. I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.
Loren is a master master teacher on storytelling, and I learned so much. I'm really going to have to sit down and go back through everything, and I think I might have to have some more coffees with Loren, but it was totally worth my time, and I really highly recommend it if you're looking to grow your ministry, grow your business, grow your career. Loren will serve you well.
Thank you.